Hey Pat. Alright, so I figured screw the pictures, let's get you some video. I'll put it on YouTube and, well, you'll know that by the time you get it because I'll send you a link. So it looks like you got an instruction manual for the Ameritron light. There we go. Sorta. It's kind of tore up, but it looks like you got pretty much everything you need. I don't know what, man. It's raggedy, but it looks like it's there. You got a schematic here with a block diagram inside for the radio, and what looks like a book. Well, this is another schematic here, and then you got a big fold-out full schematic both sides for the radio. You got the Kenwood's owner manual. That looks intact. Then you got this one that looks like a book. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like it used to be bound together. So you got page 9. This is for the radio. Page 40, 41, up to 88. Looks like you're missing the beginning part and the back part. I really don't know how big that was, but anyway. That's the paperwork you got. Set that there. Got a bag of cables. Which has your mic. I don't know if you can see that inside the grill. It's pretty filthy. So a little cleanup there. Up and down channel, but that's it. It's not one of them keypad types. So just up and down. It's wired with the A-pin, so I don't know, probably works. I ain't gonna power any of this stuff up, man. That's all for you and your Variac. We got a power plug. Looks like your DC. It's got ring terminals on it. So that looks intact, probably based on what I see in that bundle, maybe 4 foot, maybe 6. I don't know, something like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that ground strap. Whew. Man, you got a good deal on the ground strap. And then you got this cable here, which that cat said goes for the amp. So it's got a 7-pin DIN on one end and a kind of beat up, mashed up RCA on the other. So I'm sure you can make that work. It's probably just to short the relay for relay switching, and that's it for the cables. Okay, so we'll go with the tuner first. Remember I was telling you on the phone, you got a needle stuck. You can see it right here going up. I think you can see that in the video. The other one's laying from this corner down here. It's laying right across the stop at the bottom. So I don't know, I've seen see, I'll wiggle it and you got free movement on that needle. So I don't know if it's it doesn't physically, like a mechanical breakage, it just, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's an adjustment. If you take the meter out you can fix it, but I've seen in the past where some meters have like a funny thing, if you rub your finger across it's like a static charge and it'll go back down, but it doesn't do anything here. Alright, so the face, you see underneath this coax selector, you can see that, yeah, you can see that, the paint, it's chipped up right here too, all around that. It's chipped up right there, but I don't know, I mean, it looks okay I guess, for as old as it is probably. The knob's dirty, it's got a bunch of shit in there, but the little inductus roller up there, it doesn't seem to work either, because I think that's supposed to adjust with this deal here, but that ain't doing nothing. So you get that meter stuck, and what I was telling you, so let's take a look at the side. The side, you know, some of that will clean up I guess. It's kind of textured, so I mean that right there looks like something's rubbed against it. But you'll notice that like it's got black screws normally, and it looks like they put different screws, and this one's been opened up. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see there's a, that one's not all the way in there. I'm not going to mess with any of it. I'm going to leave it just the way I got it. And this one's loose too. This top one here. And then I was telling you about the back. So you got a really nice ding right here in the cabinet, and that's pretty heavy gauge. I guess it's steel, but it's real beat up along this whole edge. And you can see where it joins right here. There's an issue there too. So I don't know, that could probably be hammered out or whatever you're gonna do. But you're missing hardware for this guy here. Tighten these up a bit. Looks like you got the screws for that. So your coax 1 and 2 transmitter. Looks like there's a little meter lamp 12 volt DC there, but I don't know what that does. Maybe that's the external power to light up the meter up front. It's got a serial number on it, 021829. No manufacture date. That label's kind of peeling up down here. Top of it, it's pretty scratched up. You got a bunch of stuff in here. Something was probably laid on it. The other side, paint's missing in the back on the left side. Same deal with the screws. Maybe that's just how they did it. I don't know if they're different screws or somebody put them in, but these top ones seem to all be like a turn sticking out. And in the front, that whole top edge is kind of missing paint, but she's been around. You can tell it's been slid out. That paint on the bottom cover has been kind of scratched. I can push that down a little bit, so something's been drug across that. So the face would have had to been out of the way. So that's what you get with that. And that meter is definitely stuck where it is. You can see that. So I don't think tuning any of this crap will. Yeah, it's just gonna stay there. All right, that's the tuner. Okay, the radio. Let's look at the bottom. So it's got the little pop-up bar. You got your front foot, the other front foot. You'll notice you're missing a foot here, and you got the back foot here. So looks like it's still got the little tag. The handle's all intact. The label right here is peeling off, so I'm not going to mess with that. That's about ready to come out. There's your back of it. 20.5 amps, so it's probably 100 watt, huh? Anyway, that's what you look like in the back. I'm guessing that right there is for the amplifier cord. They switched. Alright, so how's it look? You got some, I mean, a lot of this will clean up. You can see it's rubbing off with my finger. But it's, you know, you got like that corrosion starting to come in on the screws, like it had been stored out in a garage or something. And the cover's been taken off. You can tell there's wear from a screwdriver, and these top screws are rusted out a little bit. Probably replace those. The vent, a lot of dirt. You can see that on the larger of those two vents. It's more like a filter, it looks like, maybe underneath those vent holes. Anyway, it's all caked up with shit. Back on the output section, you got some, that's like adhesive, so that might come off. You got a big rub right here. Left side. Yeah, the feet, I guess you can stand this on its edge because it's got feet on the left side. They're pretty worn down. This one's kind of in bad shape on the front bottom left. Up with the mic cord or plug. That feels like it's on the surface, so that'll probably clean off. Looks like there's a couple of adjustments down there. I don't think you can see them, but they look intact. Yeah, there are a couple of I don't know what they do, but you can adjust them from outside. The bottom's got some scratching along the, you know, hoo-ha down here, this bump. I don't know what the hell that is. Because I'm not a ham, I guess, if I was a trained professional. The face is pretty clean. As you can see, you know, in the power button, in the recess where it goes in, it's dirty. But as far as I can tell, there's a little bit of rust on this metal ring where the headphone jack goes in. That'll probably clean up pretty easy. Your mode switch for lower and upper sideband is worn away quite a bit. CWFSK is worn about halfway. AM/FM looks good. I don't know what lights up or not because I'm not going to power it up. But everything else label wise seems to be good. The face, this lens on the display, I'm not going to be able to capture it. It looks good, but it's you know, you can see it's had years of folks just taking a dry cloth and wiping off the dust or whatever instead of doing it the right way. So it's got, you know, those real fine swirls in it like you see on a black car paint. The bezel's got it's black plastic, but it looks like they put almost like a gray coat on it, and that's worn off. I think you can see that along this top edge, especially on this corner, but this whole top edge, that color in that corner too, I think you can see it's just perfect black in that one corner. It looks like whatever that coat is they put on it's rubbed off. So but everything everything feels good on it. That pot's a little loose. That one's nice and tight, but these two are a little loose. These guys feel it. Well, that one's a little loose. Might gain. So a little wear on the button, a couple of buttons right there. Otherwise, that looks pretty good. Hope you ordered a TS4 450S, because that's what this is. Alright, so let's get to the amp. I told you it doesn't have any feet on it, so as you can see, that sucker's resting right on my surface. Got a lot of wear in this aluminum plate down here, and that's not going to clean up. That's, I mean, the coloring in it might, but that's definitely ground into the metal. There's actual, you can actually feel that. I think you can see that discoloration along the front edge of this side. That might clean off. I don't know if that's plastic or, I think that's steel. That black piece. Okay, so what I was talking about with the screws on this, on the phone with you, is they're using black screws, and they all got that surface rust on them now. And you'll notice that they're, well, let's look at the meters. That one looks pretty close to accurate for the plate. And your grid looks good. You've seen these before, they got that texture on them, so the texture looks pretty good. Switches are dirty from sitting out. You know, that's just rubbing off. You should be able to clean that up pretty good. The knob, that's a pretty standard knob. I think you can get those knobs at Radio Shack or at least online, but the knob, the aluminum insert's got, I don't think you can pick that up. It's probably getting a little blurry this close, but that's got abrasion in the aluminum, so that's not going to come out. And like you see on a lot of amps, somebody took a pencil or something. I think you can see that right next to my fingernail. They marked it right there, right at the tip, and then they marked it again up here at 40, right at the tip, and then that's a normal notch. That's a normal big notch, but you can see those little two marks that they made. They made another mark right there. I think you can, that one's not as bad, but I think you can see it. That's paint, so you're going to want to be careful when you take that out. And I noticed, I don't know if it's supposed to be like this, but this knob feels like it's kind of like oil dampened, and it wants to kind of go back on itself. Can you see that? I don't know if that's normal or not. Thought I pointed out. The low does that too, just a little bit. Not as bad as the plate. Band switch feels good, nice and solid, not loose or nothing. Again, that's got abrasions on the aluminum insert. Okay, so this screw right here is the one I was telling you about. I don't know if I can get that, but you can, oh yeah, you can see that. You see how that sucker's hanging out of there? So I don't know if that got put in and got cross-threaded or what, but it's hanging out. So it is what it is. The rest of them all appear to be in all the way. But you got gunk. You see that gunk down in the corner right there? It's dirty, man. You're gonna have a cleanup job on this one. And I don't know if you can see that right there. That's the one I was telling you about in the face. Other than that, really the face is in pretty good shape. And I think that might, I can't really tell because of the texture on that surface, but that might come off. Alright. Getting too old for this bending over shit. So the top, you can see that. There's your front. Top's got a lot of abrasions on it. Some in the paint, some on the paint. Definitely probably want to shoot that with new paint. Screws on the top, a lot of rust. That one's pretty bad. And there's a couple missing, so let me pan out a bit. Front, back, middle screw, missing, not there. Front right side top screw, missing, not there. So 2, 4, 5 out of 7 screws are in it. On the top, all the screws are on the side. Those HV caps, kind of hard to see, but yeah, well, I think maybe you can see that. A lot of dust on those things, so probably pretty dirty. It looks like this is the I want to say it's the intake, but I'm not going to pull the cover to find out which way the fan's pulling. I think this might be the intake side. Not sure. The top of the bezel, not bad. Gets kind of dirty over here. This darker spot here is in the metal. You hear my finger rake across that. That's a pretty good abrasion right there. Otherwise, it looks like the rest of that will clean off. And it's it doesn't look like it's coated with anything. It's just aluminum, so you should be able to just take that, maybe run a sander across it, and that would probably take that shit out too. Take a layer off of it. Right side, back, you got rust coming into the cover here. You got rust bleeding from that screw into the cover there. So I mean, you're really going to want to paint this thing, clean it up, sand it down. And here's the tube side. I can't tell. Let me grab a light real quick. I don't know if the dude told you what kind of tube is in it, but it's yeah, it's an iMac, however you say it. Definitely an iMac. I can see the, well, you can see the red paint just barely there. It's really close. I know it's blurry, man. Sorry. I know I got an autofocus, but right there, tip of my finger, you see the red. That's the iMac logo. And what's in there is a 3-500Z. So I don't know if that's a graphite, or maybe you can tell by the fins, but it's an iMac 3-500Z is what's in there. I don't know if he told you how good it is, or if it's putting out, or what's the dealio with that, but there you go. Alright, right side, a lot of big scratches, starting to rust. You got a real rusty screw right here. It's not in all the way. That one's missing in the middle, completely gone. Oh yeah, you can see that back screw. See how loose that is when I push the case in. I'm just using my finger now, so that's pretty bendable. So that screw is not in all the way. Back plate looks pretty good. Serial number on this one 0485. Tighten that wing nut down a bit. Couple of fuse holders, 10 amps I guess each. Relay, ALC out, ALC adjust, 12 volt. I don't know what the hell the 12 volts for, but what little screws there are back here all appear to be intact. I don't know what this one does right here. It's a screw from the inside with a nut outside. So, but you got some rust. You can see that one on the second row there on the right, starting to rust over, and that guy down there on the left. All right, on that left side again, some abrasions up here. More abrasions right there, rusting. And that's that. Let me flip it on its side and you can see the bottom of it. Oh, it's got this aftermarket 110 volt, 115 volt plug on it, so there was some chopping done. Probably was wired 220 at some point, or they wired it back, who knows. Gotta love that iron. Alright, so the bottom, you can see all that scaling. That's I don't know what it's from, maybe moisture, I don't know. Your 4 big main bolts to hold the transformer in do not appear to be tight. I would probably tighten those down. You can see the 4 holes. There's one there, there's one there, one there, one there for the feet, so you're going to need some feet for it. I don't know, probably a nice little project for you on a weekend or something, but all appears to be intact. It's got the tube in it, so I'm gonna go put this thing together. We're looking at 22 minutes already, so I'm gonna call it a night, or a morning I guess, and maybe I'll run into you in Paltalk. I'm gonna start uploading it here shortly. Catch you later.